Hey everyone. It's been a while since I've just sat down and rambled for a while, so I got a minute. Um, and I just wanted to chime in on, the drama of the day, I guess, the flavor of the week, which is PZ Myers accusing Michael Shermer of raping someone without having any evidence put forward or any victim or anything, just putting the accusation out there um, to lynch him in the court of public opinion. Um, so before the Thunderfoot video and a couple other videos I've seen, like from Eagle Eye 1975 and Hatred 42, before those, I had seen the blog post itself because Richard Coughlin had posted it to his Facebook. Said, "Uh-oh, here we go," you know. So I read it, and I was reminded about why I don't like groups with other interests invading the skeptic community and putting forth their stuff, their values, before skepticism. Because as I read PZ Meyer's blog post, um, the only thought going through my head was uh, put up or shut up. You know, give some, sliver of evidence whatsoever of what you are talking about before you make an accusation like this. Um, and Michael Shermer has done a lot for the skeptic community that the skeptics on YouTube probably don't really recognize him for. You know, being an editor of skeptic magazines, and he's been a very influential person for the Center for Inquiry, and on the talk circuit, he previously had been critical of PZ Myers, so I imagine PZ Myers was salivating when he got information like this. And it's not like PZ Myers hasn't done smear pieces on other people who were critical of him before, you know. Um, and as far as Thunderfoot's video about PZ now, I had a poner boner the entire time, you know. The whole video, and I've had disagreements with Thunderfoot before, but the whole video, he was spot on. You call yourself a skeptic, and then when people withhold judgment because they're not taking what you say without evidence, then you fucking ban them from your fucking blog. That's. Wow. It also reminded me that as a board member of a group that calls themselves freethinkers, um, I get a lot of people asking, why don't we, spend some money and get, this speaker or that speaker. And those of us who have been in the skeptic community or free thought community or whatnot, we might know a little bit more about that speaker than just your average fan, you know. And sometimes there are speakers that people want to hear from that I'm like, okay, we have to represent what the membership wants, but I don't really feel right about it. And it was last year during the AAA convention, the Atheist Alliance of America convention, when I filmed PZ Myers' speech that that little salient clip that Thunderfoot used, where P.Z. Myers puts up his definition of atheism, which is very far from any other recognized definition of atheism. You know, that at that point when I was filming it, Thunderfoot took it and used that salient part. But when I was filming it, I was thinking, this is some bullshit. This is tacking on a lot of your beliefs onto something that has, it has some, I guess, momentum. I see just plain atheism having momentum, and other movements that are waning are looking to co-opt anything that has a little bit of momentum. So you'll find, progressive movements trying to take some of the terms like skeptic, freethinker, even atheist, and try to change them into meaning something closer to their progressive values. And as far as him being on Free Thought blogs and being like the founder of Free Thought blogs, Free Thought is the antithesis. It's the antithesis of dogma. Now, I'm just the vice president of the Freethinkers Colorado Springs, but what I know about Free Thought is, if you are thinking about something dogmatically, and if somebody dares to bring up the opposite opinion and you banhammer them and block them, at that moment you are not acting as a free thinker. You are pretty much you have a dogma that you are following. And sometimes I wish that people would be closer to the labels that they've chosen, because the labels looked nice and shiny, It's like when we call ourselves the free thinkers, in my city, some people will hear that and think, oh, well, I guess you're saying that everybody else who isn't in your group doesn't think freely. And when people say, well, we're the skeptics, there's a skeptics group in our city, other people might hear that and say, oh, well, I guess you're saying that people who aren't a part of your group aren't skeptics. And I wish that the people who were in the groups that called themselves skeptics would really take a look at that definition of the word skeptic. Because when P.Z. Myers blocked someone for withholding judgment until he had evidence, holy shit. And when 100 YouTubers or bloggers or whatnot call him out for that shit, I would hope that P.Z. Myers would never be allowed to speak at a Skepticon ever again. Ever the fuck again. That is such an affront to what skepticism is. To get rid of someone because they withheld judgment because they didn't have enough evidence. Holy shit. Well, everything I've said up until now, you'll hear from just about anyone else who has an opinion on this. I imagine that I'm saying this for a lot of people. But now, I've got this other tangent in my head I'd like to share with you. This is why I really turned on the camera to talk, A while ago, we had this thing called Dramagate, right? And people were pissed off that somebody would have the nerve to treat everyone in their audience as if they were test subjects, you know. And it was really, really transparent from the get go. Anyway, it's not like they caught anyone, and it was really a failure. But when I saw PZ Myers' blog, I got to thinking, like, is he testing everyone? Is this a case of PZ Myers and Michael Shermer acting in collusion with one another to test the whole internet, to test the entire skeptic community? Because when I read PZ Myers' blog, I saw basically the opposite of what a skeptical mind would write. Many of those phrases were like, holy I was like, the fuck? You call yourself a skeptic? You know, you show up at fucking Skepticons and whatnot, skeptical conventions, and you're writing this fucking shit? What? You know? And the only evidence that we have that this is not, you know, a gate level test, you know, like a drama gate level test, is, you know, the cease and desist notice that was posted on Free Thought blogs, which, you know, just having an image of a cease and desist notice does, to me, isn't actually evidence that one actually was served by a lawyer to them, you know, or whatnot. If they were really, I guess, bent on showing the entire skeptic community that there's a lot of people who are just drama hungry and like to talk about drama, and they should shut their fucking mouths, they might be taking it this far, you know. And here's the thing that really sits wrong with me and made me turn on this camera. I know that's thinking a little bit paranoid, right? That's like I've in the community that I'm in on the internet, tests like that have happened, you know, a couple times, and maybe that's not the same experience other people have had. But if it's not a test, I'm going to feel worse. Like, I know, like, there was this huge backlash for Dramagate. But seriously, the only way that this turd can get polished in my mind, for me, would be if PZ Myers was testing the skeptical community. You know, I hope that this is a test where there's backlash, where people get all in, you know, riled up because they shouldn't, you know, treat humans as test subjects unethically like that. I hope that it is that scenario, because if it's not, then PZ Myers really is a PhD dumbass. You know? It really does reflect poorly on every other thing he's ever done to advance science. I don't know. Links below to some videos that that I watched before this, I guess, that had something to do with what I just talked about. And maybe a video about my broken toe before the Flags recap later this week. That's all I see myself doing. Thanks for listening to my ramble. Hope to ramble a little bit more in the future, more often.